Hey guys, it's Anna and welcome to my channel. Today I thought it would be fun to do a fragrance declutter. And I will be honest, the majority of these fragrances I have already decluttered. They have gone on to their new homes. I'm the kind of person where the moment I decide I don't need this anymore, I want it to go immediately because I'll just start to feel like a bit anxious with the clutter. Like I don't like having things sitting around that I'm not using, that I don't love. So that is why I don't have like necessarily a bunch of bottles to show you today, but I'll definitely put pictures on the screen for you guys. Also, I wanted to say that the perfumes I'm going to be talking about, just because I've decluttered them does not mean they're not good fragrances. Like I would not have brought them into my collection in the first place if I didn't think they were good. Maybe there's like a couple of them that were blind buys and then it was like, okay, yeah, let's get rid of them. But I rarely blind buy. The only time I ever blind buy is if it's compared to a fragrance that I've tried already, so I have a really good idea of what it might smell like, or B, it's super affordable and I'm like, why not? So yeah, I'm the kind of person that has to have a collection full of fragrances that I absolutely love and that I actually wear. If I'm not using it, it's just a bit of a waste, and if I don't absolutely adore it, it's like, that's also a total waste because I have so many fragrances and it's like, why would I waste time wearing something that I don't absolutely love when there are fragrances in my collection that I absolutely love? I want to feel super happy and excited about what I have in my collection. So if it's not totally hitting the mark for me, then I get rid of it, even if it's a good fragrance. So I'm going to be talking about quite a bit of perfumes because I'm going to be going over pretty much like everything that I've decluttered within the last year, because this is like my first declutter video. So like from now on, like I'll give you guys updates, but this is my first declutter video. Starting with the first one, I decluttered Be Layered Dark Temptation, and this is supposed to be a dupe for Lancome's Oud Bouquet. I am so close to absolutely loving that fragrance. I want it so badly in my collection, but there's just like one part of the fragrance that just doesn't quite jive with me. With the reformulated version, like the new one and like the fancy beautiful gold and glass packaging, I actually had an allergic reaction to. I broke out and like hives everywhere and I got like all red and incredibly itchy, so I can't have that. And also the fragrance was bomb, but it had this like strong rubbing alcohol note to it that I just couldn't shake. It did not disappear no matter like how long I had it on my skin, so that had to go. So I have been on the hunt for the best Oud Bouquet version for me, and Dark Temptation wasn't quite it. It was not bad. It was not a 100% dupe. It wasn't as sweet. It didn't have that much of a praline note in comparison to the original, and I really love that about the original. I love the beautiful balance between the rose, the oud, and the sweetness. So with a lot of the dupes, they just weren't quite sweet enough, and they were more strong in the oud and rose, which I'm fine with, but it's not what I was looking for. So same thing with Swiss Arabian's Shaghaf Oud. It didn't have as much praline in it as I wanted, so I decluttered that as well. I even ordered like the original formulation of Oud Bouquet. You guys, I've been on this hunt. And it would be an absolute masterpiece to me if it wasn't for this weird thick syrup note. If it wasn't for that, it would be absolutely perfection to me. I seem to have a love-hate relationship with Tom Ford's Black Orchid. I used to have like an 8 milliliter travel spray of the original, and at first like I absolutely loved it, but then it just got like really strong to me and I couldn't wear it anymore. So then I was like on the hunt for my version of Tom Ford Black Orchid. So I started out with Velvet Orchid and I wore like a decent amount of that, but then after a while it just started to grow like a bit annoying to me. Maybe it's the rum. I really like boozy scents and fragrances, but sometimes it can be alcoholic in a way I don't enjoy. So I got rid of that, and then I'm currently trying to get rid of the Eau de Toilette. Stunning packaging, by the way. Like, this is my favorite black orchid packaging, like with this matte black. And I really go back and forth, you guys. Like some days I absolutely adore this scent and I like swear up and down like, no, I'm not getting rid of this. This is so cool. It's edgy. It's different. It's unique. I feel like, I don't know, I could just conquer the world or something. And then other times I wear it and I'm like itching to wash it off and I don't know why. It's a very unique combination of notes. And I want to have fragrances in my collection that I love all the time. I don't want love or hate fragrances. I want to be obsessed with them 100% of the time. And in this one, I think it's the truffle that I'm just not the biggest fan of. I think that's really the note in the Black Orchid line that I don't just quite jive with. I also got rid of Be Layered Sweet Dark Fantasy, which is a dupe to Kilian's Good Girl Gone Bad. And I've tried that one as well as the Extreme. And at first, when I tried both of those fragrances, I loved them and I was like getting a full bottle. And then the more that I wore those samples, they just like weren't for me. So I got the Be Layered version and I just like never touched it. I think they're beautiful fragrances. I would recommend checking them out. I think maybe it was just like a little bit too much on the tuberose for me. It's feminine, floral, classy, has a bit of sweetness in there. I think it just has like this creaminess to it that I didn't quite jive with. I'm very bitter that this did not work out for me, but Versace's Crystal Noir, when I smelled that fragrance, I was just like mind blown because it's so unique and beautiful and like there's nothing I'd ever smelled like that before. So I bought a full bottle immediately and I was so excited about it, but then once I got the full bottle, I would just get like annoyed wearing it. And I feel like you're gonna hear that a lot with some of the fragrances that I'm describing, where I really don't know per se what it is exactly about the fragrance that turned me off to it. I think I've narrowed it down to being the coconut gardenia cardamom combo, because I've now tried so many fragrances where there's been a couple where I'm like picking up that Crystal Noir DNA and then I'll be like, nah, it's not for me. I still really recommend trying it because I think it's a really well done fragrance and I'm really annoyed that it annoys me to wear it now. I'm very particular with how cardamom and coconut is done in fragrances, and then I hate gardenia. So I think it's that combo that's just, it's not for me. I decluttered Be Layered Bella the Irresistible, which is a dupe for Parfum de Marly Casilli. I was really disappointed with that dupe because I don't think it's a dupe. Like, sure, it's close, but it's not like a dupe like other Be Layered scents are. I tried Casilli and I was so in love with it and so excited, but I wasn't ready at the time to pay that price tag. So I got the Be Layered version and I was just like, what is this? Like, it wasn't bad, it was fine, but it didn't wow me like Casilli. It was missing that addictive, like perfect fruity element. Still had that, but it wasn't the same DNA. So I got rid of that and got Casilli. I also decluttered Dolce & Gabbana's Dolce Garden, which I think is an incredible fragrance. It's honestly the yellow florals in there. I will say I can be very picky with my yellow florals. If it's too tropical smelling or creamy, it can tend to get a little bit cloying to me and then I just won't ever reach for it. So it's absolutely stunning. If you like your summery tropical fragrances, try it. I think it just got a little bit too much for me because it has coconut, vanilla, ylang ylang, and frangipani, which like all together that's like very creamy and sweet. And it also has almond milk in there, which makes it even more creamy. It's really stunning though, and it's affordable, so if it sounds good, try it. The one I am most disappointed in letting go, like I don't regret decluttering it, but I'm just very angry at myself that it did not work out for me, and this is Elie Saab Le Parfum Intense. And I actually included this in my best affordable fragrances video because I could not tell you why why I decluttered it sometimes, and like I hope you get me and you understand what I'm saying this, but sometimes you have literally no clue why a fragrance is just like not quite there for you, and you can recognize that it's stunning, that it's beautiful, that it's great. There is no notes in there that are steering you the wrong way, but for some reason when you wear it, it can just give you a little bit of a headache. I for the life of me cannot understand why it had to do this, because I recommend it 100%. I genuinely think it's a 10 out of 10 fragrance. It is such a timeless, elegant, classy, beautiful feminine fragrance. It's like one of the best classy fragrances you can get. It's floral, it's warm with the amber, it's sweetened with the honey, it has patchouli, it's stunning. I really don't know what to say. I'm sorry for being such a disappointment. I tried out Fragrenza's Signorina Miele, which is a dupe for Dior's Miss Dior Cherie, and I really enjoyed the fragrance. I would recommend trying it. For some reason, it just like wasn't quite me, but the scent is beautiful. It's classy with a little bit of something extra. It has this like really beautiful strawberry note. You know, sometimes you come across a fragrance that's absolutely beautiful, it smells great, but it just doesn't quite fit your personality, and that's okay. Another one that I'm very upset that I had to let go of was Serge Lutens Oud Bouquet Vanille. Again, like Elie Saab Le Parfum Intense, I really don't have any reason as to why. I think it's a gorgeous fragrance and one of the best vanillas on the market. I so appreciate how unique and different it is. I feel like it takes a lot to come up with a unique vanilla, because vanilla is one of the most used notes in perfumery, and it's so popular. It's so warm and comforting and cozy. It is literally so perfect for fall. The beeswax is really the distinguishing character to this perfume, but at a certain point it just didn't feel like me anymore, and it started to annoy me a little bit wearing it, so I had to let go of it because it's so beautiful. It needs to go someone that just loves it 100% of the time. When Angel Nova came out, I bought a 100 milliliter bottle right away. I love the Angel line, and these notes listed are just stunning. It's compared to Delina, so it's definitely like in the same family as Delina. Really, the only reason I got rid of it is that I do prefer Delina, and I don't like having repetitive fragrances in my collection. I don't like to have fragrances that are too similar. I prefer Delina. I was reaching for that one over Angel Nova like all the time. I also love how Delina is more unique. It has more character, and Angel Nova is more simplistic, which is great. I think it's a great offering as a designer fragrance. It really shines with the lychee, the raspberry, and the rose. So it would also make a really good layering fragrance. So if you're into that, I'd recommend that. Where Delina, in my opinion, is better as a standalone fragrance, Angel Nova has incredible performance for it being a fruity floral, and I absolutely think it's a great fragrance. I recommend it. It's just that I had something similar in my collection that I preferred. I also decluttered Angel Au Croisiere 2020. Really good fruity fragrance as well, and it's also very sweet. The only reason I got rid of it is because of the fig note. As you might have seen from my Notes I Hate video, Fig and I don't get along very well for whatever reason, because I like eating figs, but having them in fragrances is not me. It's not my personality bottled up. The note just annoys me for some reason, and it's not an explosion of fig like I've noticed in some other fig fragrances. So I actually did sample it before I bought a full bottle of it, and I was okay with it. It's a really unique fruity fragrance, and I really loved that. But the more I wore it, the more I started to pick up on the fig, so I was like, bye. You guys, I have craved a Lancome private collection bottle for the longest time. I have tried every single fragrance in that line that I have been even remotely interested in, and none of them have quite worked out for me, unfortunately. But a really close one was Santal Kardamon. Those bottles are art pieces. Those are some of my favorite bottles I have ever seen in my life. As you guys might know, I'm obsessed with sandalwood. I cannot get enough of it. And that fragrance, the dry down, was pure sandalwood. Like sandalwood perfection. But unfortunately, the cardamom was just a bit too much for me. And that was like one of my first times trying cardamom and experiencing cardamom in fragrances. And so I was like a bit worried because I thought maybe cardamom was just not for me. But we're good. We're friends now. It's in Miele Demi, it's in Santal Vanille, which are like both lifers in my collection. So cardamom and I are good. But in this particular fragrance, unfortunately, it was just like a blast of overwhelming cardamom, where like I was just like waiting for that delicious dry down hours in, and I'm just not the kind of person that's gonna hold on to a fragrance and wait for a dry down for a fragrance to be good. It needs to be bomb from start to finish. I got rid of Be Layered Love Potion. I went on like a Be Layered kick like about a year ago. This is a dupe for Carolina Herrera Good Girl, which I think is a great fragrance, but it just got like too typical for me. And it is a unique fragrance, so it's not boring or generic in any way, but I just felt like a typical girl wearing it. I don't even know how to explain this. I just didn't really feel special wearing it. It didn't make me feel like super sexy or beautiful or unique or I don't know, just like I was that special. And I am, damn it. So even though the perfume is really good, I don't know, I just feel like that fragrance is kind of associated with your typical girl, and I don't want to be a typical girl. I like to have more presence with my fragrances, and I definitely have perfumes in my collection that are very popular. Like I have Viktor and Rolf Flower Bomb, but even though that's so popular, it's so mouth-wateringly addictive to me, and I can't get enough because it's such a unique, sweet, patchouli floral, and it feels like me. It feels like my personality can jive and fit with that fragrance, whereas with Good Girl, it just didn't quite feel like me. I got rid of Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle, and I miss it. I got rid of it because I was hearing like left and right, oh, that was my signature scent, or oh, that's my signature scent, or oh my gosh, this is my signature. I'm like, we get it. And then at work one day, I had one of my coworkers tell me that I smelled like Macy's, and I was like, ah, no. You don't want to tell a frag head that they smell like typical. I'm so dramatic. So I put her on the chopping block. But it's so good. It is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. Like there's a reason it is, I think, right? Like the best selling fragrance in the world. I literally just got rid of it because I feel like every single female on the planet owns this. I literally smell it everywhere. But oh my goodness, it is so beautiful and classy and timeless. I feel so elegant and confident when I wear that fragrance. It puts me in like a different headspace. It's strong, it has amazing performance, you're getting citrus, woody notes, patchouli, rose. Absolutely iconic. So I ended up testing the intense version, loved it, and I am going to be purchasing a bottle during the Sephora VIB sale. So I don't know, you guys, I go back and forth with this debate in my head all the time. Like, no, I want to smell more unique and original, and I only want to have perfumes in my collection that, you know, people aren't used to smelling everywhere. And then the other part of me is like, okay, but if I absolutely love a fragrance, like who cares? Like, let's just have it. I go back and forth. all the time. So I'm really excited about getting the intense version because it has that Coco Mademoiselle DNA, but they killed it with this launch because it truly is, in my opinion, what a flanker is supposed to be. I don't want something that smells exactly the same, but it's like, oh, it's a little bit stronger or barely different. Like, I appreciate when flankers have the same DNA as the original, but they still hold their own and they're truly like their own personality and their own perfume. And I really appreciate that with the Intense. So I'm excited. The first perfume that I ever bought with my own money, because prior to this, I would like be gifted perfumes for like Christmas or my birthday. This was the first one that I had ever like picked out by myself. I got Gucci Premier. It's just that in my journey of discovering more and more fragrances, I've gotten even more and more picky and particular. I'm on the hunt for things that are unique and that stand out and that truly wow me. So Gucci Premier is an amazing fragrance, but it does smell like a perfume. And I don't really gravitate towards perfumes that smell like perfume, if that makes sense. So Gucci Premier is a beautiful blend of white florals, woody notes, bergamot, musk. It's absolutely stunning. It was my signature scent for a while, and when I think about it, I get a little sad because like that was me for a bit of time, you know, and I just adored it, and I was so excited to have this perfume that I had picked out and I got with my own money. But I'm really thankful for it because I loved it so much and I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to keep exploring fragrances, so here we are today. Okay, you guys, I have to stop. I'm sorry. My voice is so tired right now, and I really thought I could get through all of these fragrances in one video, but I'm just halfway through and I feel like I've been talking forever, and I think we're like 20 something about fragrances in already, so I'm like, we're good. So I'll definitely film a part 2 for you guys at some point and update you with what has left my collection. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you want to see me in any more videos, I would appreciate it so, so much. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!